if you're not familiar with Manchester Met, that's one of the largest and consistently one of the most popular universities in the country. 37,500 students at the last count, and I'm here to tell you a little bit about SODA, which is our School of Digital Arts, and I'm guessing that for you as an audience, this has more than a passing interest. I've got a short introductory video which I will play now, hopefully.
Shifts in technology change everything. How we create and share. How we make content, games, film, and media. These shifts make space for a rising generation of talented, diverse creatives. They demand a new approach to education, a new kind of school. So, welcome to the School of Digital Arts, a dynamic learning facility for content creation, a digital playground where creativity meets technology, a £35 million responsive high-spec lab space, a school in a city that's the UK's largest tech hub outside London, a school within a university that's globally recognised, where diversity matters, where flexibility and courses that respond to technology matter, a school where next-generation creative content will be made, for makers of film, animation, gaming, media production, sound, photography, UX and digital design. This is future storytelling. This is the School of Digital Arts. This is SODA. Opens at Manchester Metropolitan University in 2021.
So, SODA, School of Digital Arts, we think that it's something new for higher education in the sense that it's a genuinely interdisciplinary approach to creativity in, let's call it, the media sector. But I think we'll all agree that what the boundaries of that are kind of changing quite significantly, almost on a daily basis. But what it does do is it brings together an interdisciplinary curriculum, research, and creative and technology subjects together under one roof at a scale that we think has not been seen before in the UK. It's a £35 million investment by the university and also the Greater Manchester Combined Authority, and I'll talk a little bit more about that later. It'll be producing new kinds of workspaces for networks, teaching and research that will drive the next generation of creative content. And of course, the reason for this is that we're in a creative city here. There are more than 80,000 jobs in the creative sector, and those are driven by things like the Sharp Project, Media City, Home, MIF, soon to be the Factory, and 50 years of drama production in the city, which makes it the largest digital and tech hub outside of London. And that sector is predicted to grow faster than any other. And that's one of the reasons why we think SODA is so important. We see that there's going to be predicted to be 70% growth in film, TV, music, and all the other associated areas that go with that, including AI, and the value for this has grown 70% since 2014 in the city, compared to an 8.5% growth across the European Union as a whole. So clearly Manchester's doing something right. The thing for us is that we need to capitalise on what Manchester and the UK does well. And what that really means is about creating the next generation of workers in the media industry. However, in the city, we find that 69% of startups struggle to recruit. And that's obviously a difficulty that some businesses here might have experienced. So our aim is to drive the development of the school to address that skills gap, to answer the question, what are the skills that businesses need in the future? And we want to address another industry issue at the school, the lack of diversity in our workforce. Tech, digital and media businesses are recognised as historically white and male. And I stand here rather shamefacedly pointing that out. But even those industries generally considered to be more diverse, museums, galleries and libraries are not. Just 2.7% of those working in the latter in the UK are from black and ethnic minority backgrounds. Within film, TV, radio, music and both the performing and visual arts, it's less than 5%. And it's our view that this lack of diversity damages our industries now, it damages our society. And so we're actively developing ways of ensuring that a diverse student body comes to the school via an innovative curriculum and by working with communities, by working with schools, by working with industry and finding new ways that people who are creative can find ways of expressing themselves. The other issue for us is that actually we've been through Generation X and Y and now apparently, we're told, we're at Generation Z. And those are young teenagers now who will form the first undergraduate cohort when the school opens in 2021. And then they are, by analysis, different from the millennials that we now see. They don't differentiate between creative and tech subjects. They're the first generation to grow up with social media from birth. They're more politically and socially active, interestingly enough. And they expect the world they inhabit to become more diverse and equitable. And they build their identities around ethical brands. Importantly, they also view themselves as co-creators and demand a rich, interdisciplinary, responsive education that allows them to work fluidly across disciplines. But what all this means is that we're intending a school that responds to developments in screen and post-screen technologies to change how we discover, consume, share film, drama, games, image-based and other creative content. And to address the needs of businesses by shortening that skills gap, and also to reflect the needs of those young people, the next generation of creatives. You might be asking, so what is it really? Well, that's why we need the school. That's why we spent an intensive 12 months developing the building, working with architects, developing the curriculum around that, developing the brand and the name. And I think what you should understand is that this is not really a screen school, which is a term that we have come across, and indeed we used for a while ourselves. We're actually looking at what is it like in a post-screen world. And in a way, that's a hypothetical, isn't it? But I think it's very obvious that that's the place that we're moving towards. It's not a film school either. The film industry has been disrupted by new models of production and consumption. You know, we've only got to think about Netflix to understand what that means and how that has disrupted and completely turned the film industry on its head. So this is a school that's about two things: storytelling and creative content, about taking an idea and turning it into a media experience. So that will include games and UX, sound, photography, digital design, animation, filmmaking, and media production in its general sense, and that is changing on an almost daily basis. So we're going to be building a £35 million new iconic building. Field and Clegg Bradley Studios have been our architects to design this school. And for those of you who know central Manchester, this is going to be right adjacent to the Salutation pub. And it's actually going to be in the road. So the road will be closed ultimately, although you'll be able to walk through the Royal Northern College of Music. This is essentially what it looks like. You can just see the Salutation there in the mid-ground. And we hope that it's a future-proof building, be able to respond to changes in technology. It will include a digital innovation lab, open workspaces, green screens, edit suites, screening spaces, media galleries, sound and music studios, and production studios. So four floors with 5,200 metres squared. the wrapper that we've been using to put around this is future storytelling, creative content that's made in Manchester and experienced across the world. We came up with a name that can have an acronym, which, when used, is lighter, more dynamic, and more in keeping with the aspirational side of Generation Z. The name has informed what is a digital-first brand whose website, film, and other materials will be publicly launched alongside a new series of industry events, of which this is one, this autumn. So, in autumn next year, our first courses will be announced. Applications will open in spring 2020 and SODA opens in 2021. We've made huge progress in the last 12 months, but the best is yet to come. And I think, in concluding, the most important thing to say to you is that this is really a partnership with industry. We're intending to have people like you much closer to us in order that we can understand as a university what it is that the industry requires. But that's a two-way thing. So my job here today is to make you aware of this, but also to say we are open to collaborations with companies that are working in the digital and media sector to see how we can work together to shrink that skills gap, to make sure that you have the kind of talent you need for your businesses, and to, importantly, to make sure that City has what it needs to keep ahead of the curve in the creative industries. Thank you.